And then I will also show you a tutorial on how I do this eye look. How I do this eye look. Hey guys, welcome back. So I got a video for y'all today all about this palette right here. This is the Afrique palette by Juvia's. This is what it looks like. So we're gonna do like I normally do in these videos. We will talk about the pricing, we'll look at the packaging, we'll look at some swatches. I'll show you side by side with a few other palettes from them and just, you know, show you like if they're similar or whatever, just kind of show you some side by sides. Let you know what I think about the formula of this palette and my overall thoughts and opinions on it. And then I will also show you a tutorial on how I do this eye look. How I do this eye look. I feel like I said dude instead of did. How I did or dude this eye look. So yeah, let's get to it. So starting with pricing and packaging, the price of this palette is $20. This is what the outside sleeve looks like, really pretty. So it's the same sort of scenario as other Juvia's Place packaging in that it's got a beautiful design on it, the lettering is raised, and they just do a great job of having fun, contrasting, bright colors. So it matches their brand. I really love their branding. Really, really beautiful. You open it up, there is no mirror inside, so that's just a little FYI. It's not a make it or break it for me, but that's just so you know that. There is still a really pretty design in here. So it's a nice sturdy feeling packaging. I think that Juvia's Place does a great job at making really pretty, fun packaging that's still sturdy feeling, but that also keeps their price point low. So this is the same kind of scenario. As far as what you get in here, this is the same sort of scenario as most every other Juvia's Place palette in that there are neutrals in here, but there are also some really fun, colorful shades in here too. And I think across the board with most every Juvia's Place palette, it's kind of like you look at it and it really challenges me creatively. And I love that about their palettes because you might look at it and go, how do these colors go together? What kind of looks am I gonna do with this palette? But there are just so many possibilities. You can do an all neutral look. There are definitely neutral shadows in here. You can do an all colorful look because there are definitely some colorful shadows in here. You can really get super creative and out there with some looks. Or you can kind of do a little bit of a mixture where you have like a neutral eyelid and then you have a really fun colorful lower lash line. So you've got just a lot of possibilities in this palette, just like their other palettes. So same sort of scenario here, colorful and neutral at the same time. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of shimmery sort of shades, metallic-y shimmery shades. So that's what you got in here. So some quick comparisons to some of their other palettes. This first one is the Zulu on the bottom here. So you can see overall, not very close at all, but this one does have some colorful shades in here. So I want to show you this one side by side. This one is their all neutral palette. This is the Warrior. So some similarities as far as the neutral tones go, but again, you don't have any colorful shades in here. You do have colorful shades in here. So different sort of palettes here as well. Here's in comparison to the Magic palette. So again, not super similar to this one, but just wanted to show you side by side. Just kind of that gold sort of like, I saw something there, but really, I mean, this is kind of like a chartreuse sort of a yellow, and this one is a true like shimmery gold. So not very similar there either. And here is the Masquerade. So the Masquerade, maybe some similarities with the neutral sort of colors, but the colorful shades in the Masquerade are more pinky, purpley, turquoisey, and that's not what you got going on with this one. So different once again. But the one that I feel like it's closest to is the Nubian 2, because looking at these side by side, I feel like you've got kind of the same sort of scenario happening, but in different ways. In that you've got neutrals here, you've got neutrals here, you've got a green and a green, you've got a blue and a blue, you've got a gold and kind of a gold, but they're different in that this one is matte, this one is metallic-y, this one's metallic-y and more of a kind of a turquoisey green, this one is more of a foresty green. The gold up here, it's not even really a gold, the chartreuse yellow is a matte, this one is more of a true gold. So looking at it, like I see similarities, but they're not the same palette by any stretch, but I think that they'd pair really nicely together, and it'd be fun to play with these together because you can kind of use like the blue and then the metallic-y blue, and it would go. But definitely the closest comparison between this one and any of their other palettes. Now for some swatches, starting at the top left side of the palette. This is Côte d'Ivoire. This one is Dakar. This one is Niger. This one is Togo. This one is Bintu. This one is Cotonou. This is Aya. This is Cameroon. This is Angelique. This is Kisi. This is Fifi. And this is Kofi. So just, I mean, all beautiful, gorgeous swatches. Then as far as the formula goes on these shadows and how they are to work with, and then my overall thoughts and opinions on this palette, I love Juvia's Place eyeshadows. I think they just do eyeshadows right. That's why I collect their palettes. That's why I love getting new ones from them and just adding to my collection, because they make great eyeshadows. Like, for example, the matte specifically. I feel like they have perfected the matte eyeshadow formula. They're the perfect in-between in that they're not pigmented enough and they're not too pigmented, and they're not too soft either. They're very versatile and very buildable. You can apply them lightly and still get a nice application of color, but that's soft, and then they can really build on themselves to be very intense. So they're just super versatile and really easy to work with. So I love their matte shadows. Their metallic-y shades are super pigmented and vibrant and beautiful on the eyes. They do seem to have, I would assume, a little bit more binder or something in them, because they just have that super metallic-y look on your lids. You really don't have to use a setting spray or something to help kind of hold them together when you're applying them, because they seem to be that kind of thicker sort of a formula, or just have a little bit more binder, I would assume, in them. Because of that, I do get a little bit of creasing later in the day with their shadows, particularly like the greens and the blues and the purples. I notice it more so with those than like the neutrally sort of colors. Maybe it's just less obvious with those, but I notice it more so with the greens, the blues, the purples, like I just said. So I get a little bit of creasing later in the day because of that sort of a formula, but I just kind of, you know, tap my eyelid and it takes care of it. I've noticed that across the board with other sort of shadows with this sort of formula too. It's just you've got kind of one or the other. You've got the more loosely packed ones that need something to hold them together when you're applying them on your eyes, or you've got the ones like this that are really just rich and pigmented and very vibrant, but that might get a little bit of that creasing later in the day. So I kind of noticed that with some of theirs, but that's not a make it or break it for me. I still love them. I still think they are so pigmented and beautiful and gorgeous on the eyes. As far as this palette in particular, I think it's a really fun palette. I love the theme of it. I love the colors in here. It's probably not going to be one that I reach for a ton, just because I don't wear a lot of greens and blues, and I occasionally wear yellows, but just not as much as neutrals. I'm really more of a neutral girl, but I do still think this is a really fun palette. I think it's really beautiful and very nice quality. So that's my overall review on this palette. So now we are going to get into the tutorial. So I already applied some eyeshadow primer and set it. So now I'm gonna get some of Kisi on a Cozette S175 brush. Tap off my brush a little bit. I'm just gonna build this up in my crease and transition area. Chester, excuse me. Excuse me. Are you supposed to be up there? Are you supposed to be up there? I don't think so. I don't think so. I want to play with different colors than I normally do, so I'm going to do a greenish sort of look. So I'm going to get some of this one, Togo, on a flat concealer brush, and I'm just gonna build this up. I will probably use a setting spray to kind of like kick it up a notch. I do find that for some reason greens and blues, like metallic greens and blues from every brand, crease on me just a little bit. I don't know if it's something about the pigment in them, so I do notice a little bit of that, but very pretty still on the eyes, and it's real fixable. You can just kind of just rub it a little bit and it takes care of it. I'm going to take a small crease brush and get some of Niger and apply some of that in my outer corner just to add a little bit more green. I'm going Go back in with that original crease shade. Just do a little bit of soft blending. I am using a smaller brush now. I'm using a Cozette D220 brush. Just adding a little bit of that back, and I'm very, very lightly touching. Just kind of want to meld those colors together so that it's a soft gradient. Now I'm going to apply some liner to my upper lashes. I'm going to use my Laura Geller Eye Care Waterproof Eyeliner Pencil in black. I'll be right back. I think just for funsies, I'm going to bring in some of this blue. So I'm going to get some of Côte d'Ivoire. That's my best guess on that one. So I'm going to get some of that on a Bdellium Tools 760 brush. Tap off my brush a little bit. Then I'm going to spray my brush with some setting spray, and I'm going to go over that liner with this blue. That did take quite a lot of building because I was going over a black liner, so I would say if you do that with the blue, I would use a blue liner underneath, but I'm usually just kind of making up these looks as I go in these videos. I'm just kind of playing with whatever colors, so I really wasn't planning on doing the blue until I already had the black liner on. So if you do this, I would use a blue liner. Okay, I'm gonna put on some mascara now. I'm gonna use my IT Cosmetics Superhero on my upper lashes. I went ahead and applied some concealer and some powder also. Okay, for my lower lash line, I'm gonna use this Sephora eye pencil, contour eye pencil in, oh dear, I don't know what that word is. Caipirinha Dreamin'. 37. I don't know if this was a limited edition color, but just a green liner. I'm going to apply this to my lower lash line, and then I'm going to go over it with some of Niger. Using a little bit of setting spray too on this brush. This is a BH Cosmetics number 10 brush. And then I know I always do this, but I really just like a little bit of brightness on the inner corners of the eyes. So I'm going to get some of Angelique on a pencil brush, and I'm really lightly tapping my brush in here, and then I'm going to tap it on the back of my hand. I just want a really light application of it, just a little soft hint of that. And then last step, I'm going to apply some of my CoverGirl Clump Crusher, and I'll be back to show you the final look. Alright guys, so that wraps up this video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was. And let me know down below what you think about this palette. If you've tried it out or if you just looked it up online and kind of thought about it. What are your thoughts and opinions? I love hearing that. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!